Okay, Sunshine City, good evening. Good evening to each and every one. Well, you know what time it is. It's time to be late. But we're here, we're in the house, and how hectic it is when you got so many different pot cooking at the same time. So the Swaliga Grassroots Movement be here with you guys. We're gonna be here with you for the next until until we feel like leaving, right?
Until we feel like walking out.
Yes, we got to big up each and every one. We got to send blessings to all the Swaliga grassroots movement and followers, especially those folks on the SXM Wake Up movement. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and this is your big money here. I'm going over to the meeting right now, and when I get back, I will bring the update for you guys. So stick to the radio. I'm gonna let you know exactly what went down in the meeting at the John Lamini, which I'm heading out to now. But we always send out all the blessings into everybody and asking God guidance on all of our programs. So we're gonna do the same tonight and ask God to bless us up and guide us and to guide the whole program that it go fruitful for everybody to feed on. And you guys can always drop in on the chat. Also, we're gonna be following you guys here on the chat. So if you want sending a message out, you can always send on your message, and we're gonna follow you. So yeah, so we got you live here. So if you got any questions, you could always drop it in the chat room. We're listening to you guys, and we send no blessing to all you guys. Okay. So I'm gonna move out to the meeting. I'm gonna leave you in the capable hand of the man himself, Mystic and Horace White, and hopefully somebody else gonna drop in after. Okay. So you guys hold tight. Love you. We gone. I gone.
You gone.
Yeah, but grassroots.
Yes.
Yeah, X-Ray, you do your thing. We're gonna do our thing in here.
Yes.
Blessings to all the Swaligans out there, and welcome to Shift Tree, if I could call it that.
Serious thing.
Yeah, man. We're here and we're doing what we do. As we say, we've set brush fires in people's minds. This is the program Brush Fires, hosted by the Swaliga Grassroots Movement, SGRM. And as we say, it does not require majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority keen to set brush fires in people's minds. Which is to say, we take it upon ourselves to be able to give you the truth at all times. We will not lie to you, and we will not give you a half truth. We will give you the full truth, because we are of the opinion that once you are properly informed, then you can properly make an informed decision. And, that's what it's all about. Horace?
Yes. Sorry for being late. Probably we shouldn't apologize because it's not the issue of doing what, forgetting our responsibilities. Just certain technicalities that shows up off and on. Yes, like the brother say, we are in shift tree. We are making sure that we make our contribution towards raising the consciousness in this community, St. Martin, no division here. One island, one people, one destiny, and that is something that we have to not only practice but also live. And in that context, we feel that the role of our organization is to contribute to that conscious raising, that nationalism that we need to do. This evening, yes, we missing one member that particularly comes. This is not a whole staff, but basically the member that is missing is Freddie. I guess he has certain engagement that is beyond his control, but we always try to make sure that at least if we have two members, we would execute a program. So in this case, we do have only two members, which is myself, Horace White, and the brother Mystic Van Heinigen. But we no more. We just locked down that Mystic, so you also would understand or make it easier. Yeah, this evening, well, we're gonna do a little general review. There is this issue with Musically. I'm not in a position to engage it effectively unless Mystic can do it, because I was not able to keep up with the SXM. I'll take that fighting with my own country name. Yes, SXM or SXM wake up chat. So I cannot engage it effectively. So if anything, I would let Mystic build that case. Um, and also we would engage also a bit in general concerning the council meeting yesterday. And you know when we have responsibility, it's really a struggle to keep up. So that also I will have to wait on the papers to get myself up to par on that issue. So what we do is just brush through that and build the case or build the program based around that. And the reaction of our position concerning the chat, what am I saying? The land issue with the Lawrence in Grand Cars, the attempt, we must say attempt because they have retracted to confiscate his land or expropriate him from his land. So we'll just build around that and build our chat. Now, as Exco say, once they walk out of a meeting around this musical fiasco situation that is building, we would they would be able to engage what is the development on that matter. So before we go there, then we just make a brief review on whatever this situation with the lady. It's a singer. If I walking generally, at least somebody told me it's a lady who's participating in the competition, and some maneuvers is put into place. Well, the fact is that she's stationed in Sabo Station, but lives in St. Martin. Station, live in St. Martin, but stationed in Sabo as a fireman or something like that. And the game or the move is to try to eliminate her from, and she's a Calypsonian, obviously, that would mean. And they try to eliminate her because of that that reality of not or that technicality or based on that technicality. So I don't know if Mystic, who you I'm sure had a more bird's eye view of that situation. You could build it so we could begin the conversation.
Yeah, I've been following it on WhatsApp, and apparently it seems like she's a St. Martin. She's living in Saba, and what one person was saying is the fact that they should have told her from the beginning they leave her go all the way to this level and then no one to let her move. You know, so somebody made a comment and said it seems like they're St. Martin or even they're
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a crazy situation. I mean, for me, that's just another angle as to the type of harassment that we have to go through as a people. You know, because it's a competition that is taking place, and the person is a Calypsonian also, and she wants to participate, and she already win the first leg, and coming down now to I think it's the elimination area, and like somebody say, it's a dumb rule for someone who live here but just walking next door. Okay.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
said she live here, but she's walking in Saba. Because of that, they wanted to exclude her from the competition, but that's not good. That's not good at
And
all.
who's executing that? The Carnival Committee is the
They did not
organization.
I think it's the Carnival Committee who's hosting it, or something. It's something that's supposed to be taking place at Port de Plaisance, if I understand.
Tomorrow, I think I
Yeah,
execute with
and,
that.
I mean, it's a weird situation, you know, because for me it shows that we're not strong in our own country when these type of silly little simple things could happen to us. I mean, come on, man, it should have been a lot better than that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the problem because I don't know to what degree or what percentage of St. Martiners is involved in the Carnival Committee, and this is what we have to understand is that when you stack the deck, even though you might get the argument of someone that say, yes, I'm living here 500 years and I'm a St. Martin or two, or I should be considered, I could live with that. But there is always a minute element that is missing when you try to, how they say, give home court advantage to these type of argument. What does that mean, or what is meant by that? Is that if that committee, and I must argue that I don't know practically no one on that committee, but I'm saying, how is it possible for such a situation to happen or reach to such a situation without someone, a St. Martin person, jump in and say, hey, boy, this is one of us, this is a St. Martin, and that argument can't be made. And secondly, it is for legitimate reason the person is missing. The person is stationed, if she's stationed in Sabre Station, whichever the one, is just next door. So how come, or how is it possible for it to be acceptable and say, well then, yes, she's eliminated because somebody is trying to give an advantage to somebody else in the competition that permits that type of behavior.
Yes.
When you are home, you should not have no problems. If it's a St. Martin, what does it mean? That you play by the book, and this seems to be a play by the book card. There is home advantage. There is certain privileges that is can't be bent, can't be messed with. And it seems like this is the case. So if you just come, you live in here and you're going to say, man, there's a book and there's a constitution. Some of the time they say, yeah, there's a constitution, but there's always, how they say, the unwritten constitution that says advantage goes to here. You put it in a book, but the person benefits from those advantage. And so I got the ultimate problem with that as a policy coming from people who should definitely be defending their own people, and we need to get that clear, or get that in our text call, that St. Martin people should have advantages, have privileges that others don't have. And even if you were born, even if you adopt this country as your home, there are certain privileges that should go exclusively to the St. Martin. It doesn't mean you don't get none, but you probably shouldn't get all 10. You probably might get 7, but the remaining 3 or the St. Martin will get 10 points that you who adopt the country probably shouldn't get at all. Example of that, I think the situation of, let's say if you naturalize as an American, and I'm sure there's other areas, but you can hold any other office except President of the United States. Right. That's a privilege that belongs to what? The American born person. True. You know, so that is one of the 10 that being American has, that you who adopt the country didn't say you ain't playing, didn't say you don't have rights to participate in the way the country running, but you don't get the ultimate seat. Right. You have to be from here to get it through. Similarly here, you could apply conditions like that to whoever you want, but the St. Martiner should have the remaining 10. 10 advantages versus somebody else get 7. And that would mean that you can't dare tell him, "Bah, you living here, so you take up residence over there, and the book stipulate that, or the book thinks that," and that's problematic, I think.
Definitely problematic. You see, the truth be told is that based on how the colonial force give them the leverage to do what they want, but still have certain things that they can't do. And it's the things that they can't do that I just hear them responding to when they say, I'm not going to go jail for anybody. Well, if you're not going to go jail for anybody, the truth be told, you shouldn't be in there as a politician.
Definitely.
That's an office that a leader needs to be in, who has the guts to do the right thing. It's not about doing the convenient thing, it's about doing the right thing. And the right thing is that we as a people need to have a little bit more leverage in our own country.
Definitely.
And if not, then the way this thing is going, we're going to wind up with total demise. And we are here now walking against this demise that we see coming down the road, because everything is against us. And this is the reason why the Swaliga grassroots movement is out here doing what we're doing. Because if it wasn't for us doing what we're doing, you would not see St. Martin's on the radar screen. You'll see everybody passing on the radar screen. Everybody except us. If it wasn't for us here doing what we're doing, we wouldn't be on the radar screen.
Totally. And that is what is meant by trying to give the St. Martin the 10-point advantage. that says, or the ultimate advantage that says, look, if the book say, yeah, once you live here or you take up residence here, you got to go into a job. Advantage mean that if as long as there's a St. Martin in it and the adopted is there, the St. Martin gets it. That is basically what is being argued by saying there should be a home advantage. There should be an advantage for the St. Martin. So even look, the point is I think this country has its greatness is because it was able to attract so much people to our shows and permit them to make a living. But at the same time, it should not mean that you just come and you get equal advantage with the St. Martin. You could just come, or you come after, or you come a little while back. But the St. Martin has always been there. That's a difference. And always been there, meaning hundreds of years, versus you probably just come maybe 40 years ago. Well, yeah, look, I lived in St. Martin 40 years now, but the St. Martin is living in St. Martin centuries. You know, so that should count for something. That should mean something. And a situation where we have this person now being eliminated because somebody is trying to play by the book, somebody is trying to classify this person as a threat to their chance of getting to the next level or whatever. If not a threat, by that's one less, so my chance increase. You know, so in doing such a thing, it simply means that we cannot agree with that. That type of behavior. We think it is wrong, and we think that this person should be. If anybody in the chat room got a person name or guys don't know the person name, just post it. Give us a brief history of who the person is, what was their singer's name, or something to help us get a better handle on the person. We are listening, and that would help us with the conversation.
True. I think that while we're along that particular line, this would more or less help to add a little bit of understanding to the mentality of how things are running. We know concerning the crab in the barrel mentality, and this seems to be an ideal case of it. I'll pull you down so I will have a chance. And that's not the thing to do. You're going forward, you're in front of me, I should come behind you and push you up so you could definitely make it. Because you have to make it in order for you to put on the ladder for me to get up to. But it's always I, and people are not looking at a we, and it's supposed to be we, it's supposed to be us, not just I. So I have this piece I call a colonial mentality, and I figure that this piece kind of clearly illustrates the crab and the barrel mentality that has been imposed on us through colonialism, and the fact that we are living in colonialism. And I have a particular question to ask after all of this. So I'll read this particular piece. I would like you to listen carefully. A colonial mentality is a conceptual theory around feelings of inferiority within some societies post-European colonialism, relative to the values of the foreign powers which they became aware of through the contact period of colonization. The concept essentially refers to the acceptance by the colonized of the culture or doctrines of the colonizer as intrinsically more worthy or superior. The subject matter is quite controversial and debated. Colonial mentality in men can be displayed in higher or lower evaluation of a partner based on skin color or race. It can also be displayed in insecurity about the affected individual's own ethnicity. Colonial mentality as a phenomenon is largely a subconscious state of mind, and one which can cause inflamed situations if brought to the surface. I repeat, colonial mentality as a phenomenon is largely a subconscious state of mind. So, this brings me to the point where the existence of the Swaliga grassroots movement is to set brush fires in people's minds, right there in your subconscious, to help destroy that colonial concept so that you will find yourself free enough to be able to do what you want. This is why we say we make sure we inform you properly so you can make a proper and informed decision. Now, question. We are living in colonialism here in St. Martin, both French side and Dutch side. So the question is, the Holland man and the French man that is here on St. Martin, is he living in colonialism or not? Question. Keep it in mind.
Very interesting question. I think the answer is easy and obvious, but thinking so doesn't mean everyone sees it that way. And that usually makes a big difference in terms of understanding ourselves. Yes, definitely. And I'm not answering for anyone. They would have to answer for themselves. But since it's a question, we can engage it a bit. And in saying that the signs is all over the wall, it is visible, the situation in which we find ourselves. It is a colonial environment. If you're an independent nation, or if you had the freedom that you has rights to, which is your God-given rights as a people, to 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 self-determine their directions, to self-determine where they want to go, we wouldn't be hearing the issue of Holland and France. But I think with certain nuance, it is extremely difficult in an interconnected world to be not to be affected by this one or that one. But underlying all of that, yes, when you are independent, you could draw your conclusions. Reality sometimes don't permit it, but you can draw your own conclusions. Enough. I'm going down that road or whatever. Whether you don't go down the road or not is not the issue. The issue is you have the rights to do it, and that is what is meant here. And we do not have the rights to do literally everything. Everything is run by somebody, and we have to be able to see it in that direction. But the argument always come: we all do not drink at the same time.
True.
We all don't grow at the same time. We all don't drop asleep at the same time, and we certainly don't born at the same time. And another way of saying that even if we understand it, does not mean everyone understands it, and we have to have that humility to understand that some of us eventually come to terms with that reality, but it is not something that everyone would understand. So probably they will have to, how they say, the child would, the parent would tell the child, look, don't touch the pot. It's hot. You're going to get burned. And it means absolutely nothing to the child. The child, however, will have to touch the pot, get burned, and learn what is meant by that. Now, if they did listen, they probably could avoid that. But yes, it's true, probably they would have never get that experience of what it is to be burnt either. So I would think does has its for and against. Yes, they have to. We have to be able to, how should I say that, give everybody the time to grow and understand. But we do have to put that information out there and be able to permit or help those to be able to reach to that stage. So we are in a colonial environment. We could go around bragging, but we have change of status. And when we find out the change of status is riddled with limitations, and we have seen it in the north and we have seen it in the south. It is more pronounced probably in the south and the north, but how they say restriction is restriction. If I could go 15 feet and you could go 500 feet, doesn't matter. I'm still restricted. Only thing I might get a couple more minutes with a 500 meters to last, but it doesn't still mean I'm free. So we are riddled with restrictions as far as that is concerned, and we seem to take that some of the time and act and behave like, hey, boy, yeah, we's a conscious and mad. Probably, no, that's not true. It probably goes on good mentally and psychologically, but in reality, it is not. Somebody is the boss. Somebody is over the governor in the south, and of course, the person who's over everybody is on the hill, which is a superfed, the equivalent of a governor, and there's right there. But even though the governor might do the signing in the north, the European can do the signing, but guess what? The one who do the signing in the south is a St. Martin person, but he boss is still the white guy behind the scene. That's it. By this is possible. This ain't possible. Don't go that road. I'm gonna permit you to do that or take that policy or whatever. So I don't know which one is good or bad. All bad. All bad. But some feel a little more comfortable than the other, and that gives us some of the time this false impression that hey, things is what it is, and things is good, and things is all right, and that's not necessarily true.
Interesting. Interesting. The reason why I read what I read is because I wanted to make a clear separation between the two states so
Mhm.
people could understand the reality that we live in here. Because I gonna jump the gun and answer the question, so I don't create a controversy even by doing so.
Well, let's spread the conversation to the king of the hill.
Yes.
He's new mates. We could participate, bring him in, and he could jump in. Or he's certainly part of the conversation. He's part of the team, or he's part of his team. I don't know what order. You have to clarify that.
We together. We
Yeah,
together.
okay.
We together. I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
So he's in our house, and since we missed a couple pistons, he probably could bring a big and a couple ends and jump in and be part of what we're going through. I mean, the discourse until the others come bring us up to date on what's happening over at that meeting.
Question that I asked was, we're living in colonialism, and truth be told, we're living in colonialism. But the Frenchman that is here on the north side from France and the Hollandman that is here on the south side from Holland, are they living in colonialism?
To the back.
Yeah and no. I would say on that. I would say, but it's not today. It's we. Because we from here.
Yes.
They what for them they want mentally when you leave a country or leave an island, they move here for better, for relaxation and retirement. That's very rare people leave because they really, really have to. They're either going for relaxation or for betterment or better health problems. So when they come here, it's like betterment. But we who here now, we know the struggle what we go. So we fighting the battles. Things ain't fair on our side. But for them, they don't know because where they come from, they know the ins and outs. So I when you pull out certain documents, still go through the kind of some when I learned if you send it straight Guadalupe, you send it straight Martinique, you deal directly from there, you get through faster. For some reason, you understand? So they come and we here and according to what we going through, they look at it like, what do you have a problem with that? You just gotta do this. And we like, why should I just gotta do this? Like, I from here. I should not shouldn't be like I fight for this or whatever the case may be. This supposed to be
Home
home
privileges.
privilege, first preference.
First preference, yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's our frustration. That's
Yeah.
our frustration. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like Caribbean islands going to America, where you won't feel like why are these Caribbean people or these different coming from different parts of the world getting the same thing that we are getting? We are Americans. It shouldn't go so. You know what I mean? And they go in there, and a lot of Korean people up there in America making babies and getting the same benefits. And pro Americans don't like that. You do it, it's like they are putting bread out of their mouth.
Mhm.
Some of them. So, but when you're from that country, that's only when you feel that kind of when the, things ain't on your way. Things ain't going your way because you're from there. If you break it down in terms, somebody wants you living in your own house and away from their own house.
Mm-hmm.
True.
In your own house, you just like a husband and wife, and if they're not comfortable in their own house,
They have a problem.
they have a problem.
And how they said the metaphor you use is yes, clearly the one or the right one, or rather interesting. If we are home talking about the Saint Martin, why in the world, if I invite you, well, I want to put it as, let's say if I got a party and my child celebrating this, my daughter or son celebrating his 16th birthday, and I invite the neighborhood and my friends, and they invite the school friends, and we clearly outnumbered at that period of time. But the king of the hill or the king of the house remain that 4, 5, or 6 of us that is in the house. No matter how much is there, we still is the king of the have control and have the privileges. Go in this room, no, you can't go. That room is off limit. Don't go in the kitchen, stay in the bedroom, stay on the porch, or whatever. What is happening to us is that we are in a situation where they are telling us everyone is free to go everywhere, serve themselves, take what they want, go in whatever room they want, and it's okay. Okay, so home advantage in this case would mean that family has all advantages. You is accommodated, you is welcome. That doesn't mean you feel you're treated differently. It just means that there are certain benefits that goes mainly only to the family.
We still talking about home, and we should have advantage. Home. If you invite me to your place, what's the worst thing you think you could give to me if I come to your house? What's the worst thing you think you, as the owner of the house, could give to me? What do you think it is?
The fact that the question was never posed to me, so how does it?
I just throw
Not,
that to you, but what would you
yeah,
think? Just what's the first thing?
you got one mistake, and you had a tip on my
Mistake.
tongue.
What would you think is the worst thing
I could do.
I could give to you as I own this house? The worst thing
And
I
use a
could give to
visitor,
you.
and I'm the visitor.
You are the visitor, and the worst thing I could give to you. What's the worst thing?
The worst thing you could give to the visitor.
Yeah, what's the worst thing you could give to the visitor? Something to think about, right?
More or
There's
less,
not
yeah.
much to think about. You give the visitor the key
Oh,
I got you.
to that house or to that room. You give up our privilege.
Definitely.
So it's just like anybody come from anywhere in this world, and you give them land. You from time you give anybody land, you give them
a room in the house.
you give them a room.
Yeah.
You give them a seat.
Definitely.
Okay. Now it gets worse. What about when you give them a passport? Okay. Now I give you power. Yeah, because I give you power because when it's time to vote for the government now, or who we think should be elected, I give you that power to say who should sit there and who shouldn't sit there. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
You understand?
I
And,
got
and,
you.
and those and when we check of the minority with that poverty, we fall back in the problem
Mm-hmm.
because the people that we give power to don't really care about who's in power. They care about what they could get.
Yeah, you're using that power to their own advantage.
Yeah, what is beneficial to them because they come here for benefits. You know? Because if they wasn't looking for benefits, they wouldn't have come here. Understand? They came here for a better life. That's what anybody you see resigning here is for benefits.
A better life,
A
improve
better
their
life,
life, yeah,
yeah.
improve
It's
their
a
life.
sad way to look at it, but
It is true.
it is true. Nobody leaves bad. I
Mhm.
mean, good. People won't leave bad
To get good.
to get good. So, and when majority have land, they're gonna not from the country or the island, however you want to put it. The people that is from there that have the same house, you put them in a situation like they get forced into a corner. You know what happened? Have to retire.
You can't go further.
Anymore. You got to come forward.
You could hit him and push him and shove him all you want, but if you corner him, no, and then you're gonna say that's a bad dog. No, it's not a bad dog.
No, yeah, he ain't got no choice.
He ain't got a choice, no.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of time that's where the people thinking about natives that live bred and going nowhere. They're not thinking about that. You know? And that is so sad. So sad because of crisis,
But I'm going to throw in one element that you missed, we probably didn't get to yet, and that is children born by these people, because you said land is equivalent of giving one a room in the house. The passport is basically giving them power in the house, but at the same time, and now the additional one and the one that knocks you out two ways, but it's a slow process, is if those people you give them, not you give them, but begin to make children, these children, and they make more than you, they actually replace you between over time period. And that time period means that by time, so if I make 75 and you make 20, then guess what is going to happen in 50 years? You take over without living a bullet. Firing one bullet, you take over. And that is the final element that I think that if the others don't get you quickly, this is the one that I literally replaces you, that destroys you. Because you become the minority. So if you become the minority, that person there now, they in turn now, they literally, yes, is big enough and say, I born in this house. How dare you tell me that I can't open my mouth in this house? I born in this house, so how could you tell me I can't own a room in the house? You know.
Where I'm going to go, because I have chairs, I got a table, I got a fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you really think about it, even if you have an apartment complex, you give that person the key. You know it's harder to get rid of a person that's in a unfurnished place than a furnished place. Because if you rent out a place that is furnished, they just come with food. You rent a place out unfurnished, they come with fridge, bed, whole thing. You put these two people not paid, you cannot get them out, because one is going to really say, now, we're going to do my stuff. You understand? So now when he come here and he got land and making kids and she's making kids, he from here. He from here.
You know, it got another angle. Got another angle in how I look at it. I'm looking at the colonial setting is a system that they put on us that we were not prepared for. And we don't have the universities with the higher learning necessary for us to be competent to play in this game. And those who are coming in, I'm not talking about just the immigrant level, but I'm talking about Frenchman. He's coming in with a certain amount of know-how, because the system that is upon us is a system that he live in and grew up in. It's the same system he knew about. And one of the things that I come to realize is that I got it from some deep conversation with some others, and then when I look at it, I say, wow, that's a reality. Because, and feel free to jump in any place along the road. What I'm thinking is that when we get what we get on the French side, and the fact that we're set up in such a way, politicians choose for us to be in this system that we are in, whereas we are getting funds for the development of our developmental structure. And we have a lot of monies that are available. And it's an attraction to French people also coming over France to come here, because this money was put in place for Outre-mer. It wasn't put in place for France. And they are coming here and they are benefited from it big time. And they know the necessary démarche and the formula to
When you
fix up
say Outre-mer, explain Outre-mer.
overseas.
Overseas. You come from overseas.
Overseas department.
Right.
Okay.
Certain monies was put in place for us to be able to use, and we don't know how to go about using it, but it is there, and they know about that, and they are benefiting from it big time. Coupled with the fact that Louis Consa Fleming helped to get this particular law in France, tax sur le fortune, move away. That's like putting a bucket of honey outside, and you don't expect bees gonna come. When the bees are coming, and they still come.
Bears gonna come. Not
You know what I'm
bees.
saying?
Bears
So-
gonna come.
I look at it, that's just one angle. It's a combination of a lot of different things that is happening, primarily just to make us disappear.
But what you're saying there, you know what really hurts me with the year we live in and the education that when you speak to some men that's going into politics before they go into politics, and they serve for a certain amount of years, is the plan they don't set up and to give back. But what you're saying there with the educational wise, I don't find if they do it, they don't do it enough or strong, where you seek people from the island to put in positions. You receive people from native islands on contracts, which means you will be thanked, but you will have to go because somebody that belongs to that island is coming back for this. You know, that is something that a government, when they go in and when they come out, that is something that should be there. You know, because people come from wherever and they get flower petals thrown on the floor for them. Once they say they have this degree and all that kind of degree, which means they get a house, they get a car, and everything paid for, and still a decent salary. When you find a local has that same diploma, they don't get the petals, you know, and that's not fair, you know, and that's where these people understanding those things, the benefits that the people have benefits and they don't even know.
We're going because no, that's the difficulty where I think politicians on the fence side find themselves on a corner. You know, they would say, I'm going to jail for the party. Because that would be like out of the French, you know. That would be out of it. That's why I say no, we don't need politicians because they're going to continue following the same road that all of them have been following. Here, do we need leaders now? Somebody with guts who will say no to that. If we continue with that, I could project at a particular amount of years from now, my people are not going to have any kind of substantial power in this country. So therefore, I go in against that. And when you do that, the people will back you because they can see where you're going. One of the things that I'm looking at right now on the French side is the fact that at least 60% of the land on the French side is still in the hands of Saint Martin.
60%.
At least 60%.
Yes. That is. I want to say that's a good thing, but it's still bad.
It's a good thing.
You find that's a good thing?
I find it's a good thing in the sense that it's still in their hands.
I find that that's slipping away.
No, it's slipping. Of course, it's slipping.
That is slipping away, and I feel that's where the government should again put down rules and laws and regulations to certain things that is for the people. You know, where you from? Well, I'm sorry, you can only lease land. That family could only lease you that land. If that family sell the land, it's because they sell it to another person that born and bred Uncle St. Martin, and that's how it's supposed to continue going. Where you want a taxi license? Where you from? You want a bus license? Where are you from? You know, certain things should just be, these are for my people.
Yes, I
I'm
understand.
sorry. You know,
100%.
if there's nobody of that island, of that nation that is qualified, no problem. You're on contract. Period. You're on contract. You want to open a business? Okay, how much people you plan to hire? Well, I plan to hire 5 people. Okay, no problem. Well, I'll tell you, you got to put somebody part-time because 50-50. You understand? So tell me you're going to hire 6 because 3 supposed to be from St. Martin. If you tell me 5, somebody got to come in there part-time. You know, and those, when you do things like that, you know when people respect you, when you could tell them no. They don't respect you when you can't say yes or no.
Yeah.
When you have morals and when you have values, people respect you more. When people could do what they want with you and manipulate you, they laugh in your face and everything good. But behind your back, they just, boy, he just don't know how stupid he is. You know? And we get a lot of that because we're nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we nice people. Huh?
Well, we know it's for the wrong reason in this case.
For the
But,
wrong reason, eh?
yeah.
No, you see the angle where you're going now, you understand, and I hold the same position. But you see now, you have to go against the grain in order to get it established.
Of
help
course.
us not to be able
To do
that
those
way.
things. Yeah, but if you get somebody in government
But this is
what could say no,
the politicians
Mhm.
always go with how things are. We don't want politicians.
We gotta change
need
'em.
leaders.
Yeah.
When we get leaders, leaders will look out for their people.
yeah, that's the difference here. A leader and a politician is a big difference.
Yeah. There's also an additional angle that when we reach to a stage where you permit, you hand them political ability passport, hence rights to vote. There is a situation or certain reality about election in itself that makes it difficult for us to reverse the situation. What is meant? To get elected, it is vote counting. So you need, as long as your name is on that list, you have to wish to convince as much people on that list as possible to vote for you. If you're the minority, or you come from if you at home is the minority, and you preach a politics to the majority that make they feel uncomfortable, guess what happens?
They don't look at
You lock out. You want to give up the key this time, no? You're outside, lock out,
Yeah,
or
they
you're
change the lock
out.
on you.
Yes,
They change the lock on
they
you.
change.
They change the lock on you.
And this is exactly the situation. So guess what? We can't would not find a politician that would go against the grain and say, look, St. Martin people should always have their privileges no matter what. So if he is supposed to do that, but you give that fella a right to vote, he can never vote for you because he don't agree with that. He want full privileges. He don't want less than. He don't want me to have 10 and he got 7.
No. He don't want to equal.
Yeah, he want equal. The same amount that I have.
Oh, he don't want to have more.
He don't want to have the advantage
Okay,
of the
advantage,
more.
yes.
So I guess what? I lock out. I can never get in. Meaning you don't leave them get passport. You don't leave them make children more than you. Always less than you. So if I make 20, I'll give you a chance, and guess what? Make 2. So I could control
Still
that
stay the
amount.
majority,
I
yes.
stay the majority, and I would never be dependent on your vote. But when we got a population of children, I'm sure more than 1,000 born. I don't know how much for the North. 25 years ago, we would average, saying 1,000. So I really don't know of late what percentage. But within you got less than 100 children that is born to St. Martiners. What chance you got down the road, if not immediately, down the road don't happen because we are in that process where these children who has born, has grown into voting adults. And they ain't gonna do nothing that gives them the impression that it dispossesses their mommy and their papi who come here. Okay? But some stupid policy man gonna tell you, yeah man, he born here, this and that. But guess what? By time if they are before they are likely to realize their mistake, they done dead. And the consequences though continues for their children. So the mistake that those of us made will never go to realize it. You'll be died. You will be dead. Because when they reach 20, 30, 40, you're an aging person and you done gone. You ain't got a power, you don't got it at 70, you're interested in not, maybe 78, 75, 80 or 85, you're interested in nothing. You just want to relax. And conquer and then hope you're there next year. So, but you did the damage. And you leave it for your children or grandchildren to deal with. And that's exactly what is happening.
Situation like that where you sit there, I was thinking the best way you could come up with that. Honestly, there ain't no best way.
No, there's no good way. There's no good way.
There ain't no good way.
They have one angle that I always been looking at. It might be a little bit angle that we play. I always draw the example. Say if 20 of us come together and each of us put 50,000 you on the table, that's 1 million you. What kind of business are we doing? And in building that is being sold might cost 10 cents more or 25 cents more, instead of going by those other places, like, maybe say if it's a supermarket, for example, super you in Carrefour. Instead of going there for the cheap thing, let me go here by this one, because that extra 25 cents that you're paying is an investment in our own proper establishment. The game in this system that is going on, we are not players in this game. And to really establish ourselves, we have to be players in this game, and that's how I look at it.
What you're saying there is good, but me, you see, because with that angle where you're coming from, I see that only working with people who's really, really humble. But good business people are not humble. Strong business people are not humble. So we would never go thinking alike. I don't want you to have the upper hand of my money. It's very rare people with money want somebody else to control their money. And that's where we have a problem where business is concerned, where people is joining together. You know? The only thing I could really think on with a situation like that, I will go back on education. And this, yeah, education, where what we started to do now, find our people that really from St. Martin, educate them, no matter what it costs, and let them understand. I would like for you to come back and educate again, and we just keep educating each other to take back, to take back, to honestly take back. And if we could do that, I feel that's a stronger start, because people say we are the minority. Money is power when we put it all together. But when you got good education, you could make up some money too, once you use that brains the right way. So I feel if we really educate the one that say they want to be a doctor, educate the one that really want to be a lawyer, because guess what? We're going to start going to our lawyer. We're going to start going to our doctor. We're going to start going to our teacher. Our teacher going to farm, or our teachers will farm their own school. You understand? So when we start doing things like that now, we get power. Why we get power? Because the time a teacher are going to take out to teach their own is really, really different, because they're seeing themselves. But when you get a teacher come from Timbuktu to teach your own, they're not going to teach them the same way. The love is different. Yeah, it's just a job. You understand me? The same thing with the doctors. Your doctor from here, he know your mother, he know your father. He ain't gonna give you no wrong prescription, because he know a few months from now, for the dinner, he got to put up your mother and father for the dinner. They're gonna talk, and he know you from a child, so there's a bond, So those little things link back to each other, But like I said earlier, it takes a leader like you saying, and that have a vision of educating our people, in the sense of, you go for that, we support you, and when you come back, that position you're waiting on. That's the honest way, so that these people don't feel and understand that when they come here, it's a time. It's for time. It ain't forever. Don't get too comfortable. Don't think I'm buying land because you're staying here too long. So now we eliminate now. So we still at 60% now of the land we have, and there's no more to buy land. You understand? So the little that they have now, how you figure out what you do with that rest? You see where I'm coming from? So the 40% of land, how you start to deal with that? How you buy it and sell it how y'all want? We can't have it back, no problem. But for sure, that 60%, y'all ain't getting that. You understand what I mean? So now, because we have enough doctors, lawyers, pilots, and to keep buying from each other, and leave they go through their battle with their 40%, but guess what? They're gonna give up, or they're gonna come to a limit of, listen, nothing more can happen. They're full. They're full. From time, somebody full now. I forget that brochure. When you come on the plane, you're traveling, and ask if you're visiting, you're staying, or whatever. You know, it gets more in depth. Are you plan to work in St. Martin? What position you plan to fill? Because you know, we only looking for this type of person. So if you think I'm catching that flag, don't go there for that particular reason. But not saying as a joke, but in reality, it's I feel the harder it is for someone to earn a living here. You know, I feel strongly that things will get under control.
I don't know. Well, probably hope would be enough in this one. I think everybody have to put their hands on them. All St. Martiners have to put their hands on deck to make it work. An additional disadvantage of when you give them the power to vote, which is basically voting you out of power. Giving the power to vote is voting you out of power without an election. But you're saying to get in the control room, you need an election. And when you need this election, you say, everybody in the house have a say. You do that maybe to decide whether you're going to buzz the party bag or whatever to be, but it should never mean whether the current bill is going to be decided or whether we are going to bring in a new cable or change it or go for the new technology that comes in. That should something be decided by the family, those that compose the family. And we are not doing that. We did not realize that we are doing it. Now, I would say, in terms of how we get out of it, it is not a political solution because we give away the power. So we would never resolve it politically because a politician needs as much vote as he gets. And he's not going to threaten anyone that could vote with a program that he would probably, the voter is not interested in hearing. Think about it. Who are the biggest community in our midst? The Spanish and the Haitians or whatever to be. You as a politician come with a program that say that I want to create a certain amount of privileges for St. Martin people. But at the same time, those communities represent, let's say collectively, about 40% of the voting list. There's no chance they would vote for that. Even though they tell you, yes, St. Martin has been good to me, and that's a nice country, and they did. But to pay back by simply voting, to give the privilege to that people that was open, they would never, ever do it. So what the politicians are doing are just cool out, and you never say nothing or do anything that permits him to privilege the St. Martin. We lock ourselves out.
Yeah.
We lock ourselves out of our country.
Because nobody's gonna give up a privilege.
Or give you one and that you don't have.
Give you back privilege that you give me and I'm comfortable. Why should I do that?
Why should they do it? Yes,
you know what I mean? What's the gain in me giving you back your power? And I am doing okay.
And I want more.
And I want more.
So if my 10 is enough, you want 11. And he probably will demote me and give me 9 and take the 11. And as a consequence, what? I sit there trying to... So when I get elected, and it explains exactly why North or South we get nothing significantly said or decided for St. Martin people.
Because who have the power.
Okay, yes.
But you see, and I personally think, this is my personal opinion, we have the power. We as human beings, we have a power to do a lot of things. But our biggest problem is we're afraid.
Fear, yes.
We fear, we're afraid. We fear and we're afraid of what people might say or what might happen, you know, because it take away now, like you said, politician and a leader. Because a leader stands in front and he gonna take the bullet first. That's a leader. You understand? And a leader is gonna duck first and tell everybody duck is coming. But he's in front. You know? And it is bad. It's real bad. It's real sad. Our politician that goes up for power, they go up trying to please everybody. You know what I mean? taking that away from them, but still out of respect. Out of respect, it's not yours. You understand? So we thank you, eh? We thank you. We appreciate every single thing you have done. You know, it's just like somebody, like we was using house as example. For the big mansion, the maid will come there and clean that house very good. The gardener will come and clean up the place real good, like it's their own. You know, then you have the nursing lady would come and take care of your kids like it's hers. Mom and dad is making the millions and you don't see them. But when somebody come to their house, you know, they say, you keep the house real clean. Kids are well groomed. Yeah. Because they're, you know, it's still their own. And but what happened to a lot of these people now? They're getting comfortable. So anybody who dealt with a maid or dealt with a gardener, some of the gardeners come and plant what they want in your garden without your permission. And that's what people are just starting to do with St. Martin. You know, instead of the maid clean, she watching so proper and quick and fast and the house, clean up the house fast because they're coming. Because they're getting comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not your
And they're
house.
getting bold. So
They're getting bold.
they
You stand
answer on your back now.
Yeah,
And they telling,
and guess what? You're still paying them at the end of the month.
oh, you don't pay them.
Okay.
You got a problem on your hand, they bold now.
So
Yeah.
now, when you put that now to our terms in the island, we give them a daily bread. My kids go away, and I had to send some money for them. I went to Western Union, and if you see Western Union on 110s, you know, it's like crazy. It's crazy. When I say crazy,
The millions that is leaving this
send it
country.
out. It is really ridiculous because this money is not circulating here. It's gone. You know, and that's where the government gotta see. Why you think you don't have no money? Because the people who gonna
But-
circulate the money here is not getting the money.
I hope we don't switch the conversation, but I just want to confirm what you're saying and show how our leaders is a misfit. The more we try to consider their situation, the more we are seeing that they are misfit. Now they have with the Western Union part, I think there's a little there's a percentage. Nothing significant. And I think they should tax it higher. If you send in money out, take 20%
20.
and lock it.
20 you say?
Okay, I'll go 30 then.
Okay, thank you. Now we're talking.
Take
You know?
30% and put it back in a government coffers.
Yes.
But if someone is receiving money, take nothing because it's coming in.
Yes.
It's
gonna
staying on
spend
oil.
here.
It's going to
Yes.
spend here. It goes back in the bank.
Yeah.
It goes back in the economy.
Yeah.
Don't tax it. In other words, here is an intense incentive to bring in.
To get that money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you want it come in quantities, cost nothing.
Yeah.
And the time you try to send it back out, then now you're going to
gotta
lose
pay for it,
30%.
yeah.
So if you bring it in, leave it
Yeah.
here.
You,
And you're paying 30% on it.
You hiring someone no papers, and you're gonna pay a fine so high.
And
You
the,
understand where I'm coming from?
the reason I'm saying that sometimes back, I receive money through Western Union, and you tax me. You don't need to know me. Fine, I agree. But just don't tax it at all. Could be from Mr. Unknown, doesn't matter. It's coming in.
Yeah.
Don't got no
circulate.
percentage, absolutely no percentage on it. So that would be an incentive. No percentage is an incentive because the money is coming in. Now, if I attempt to send it back out, then drag as much out of me as possible.
Yeah.
And be thinking.
That's the way we
That's the way we can. So guess what? They're likely to do a couple things. They might say, okay, I don't want to go Western Union, but I'm going to call it. Then you open up yourself to risk. Fine. You don't want to go the illegal route, take your risk. You might lose all. You might call it or whatever it be.
No, but you see, the harder it is for them to send out. Guess what?
It stays in.
They're gonna stay in, and people are gonna come in to think on sending out.
Exactly.
The majority of the time they come in to send out. Okay?
Yeah, but that's exactly the point. You know.
Tax is a discouragement.
So you
There you
tax
go.
it so heavily
You understand?
that and it stays in your economy and it goes and it goes and it builds and it permits somebody to make a loan by your privilege in your own. Look, you can't got to, and we could use a couple things. Use a St. Martin. It's you can't tell me you want to lend him no money.
Okay, now tell me this. The way you're saying they with the same tax, why is it somebody not from here, because they come to open a big business, they don't pay no tax? Certain amount of years. Now, you telling this person, come, invest here with your millions, and stay for a certain amount of
But
years.
you're the little guy who's trying to do a
And
business.
the guy that's trying, that don't have the millions,
No, struggling,
struggling,
just trying to
you
help
taxing
himself,
him,
and think that's right.
you taxing him. You understand what you're killing, you're killing. Yeah. And there again, where to me, we have to sit down, a board have to sit down and say, listen, this is some laws that should be set for the island. And no matter what government goes in, I'm sorry, it can't be changed. You got to follow this. You got to bring something better than this to improve our living situation. You know what I mean? To keep what is here so the economy could build proper. You know, our roads could be good. You know, people could live in better housing areas instead of building projects. We could build better housing areas. You know, the educational system could be better because we're not going to look for the lowest bidding teacher. We're going to look for the best teacher if we have to send away for a teacher. You know, so those, because the money's not going out, the money's staying in. It is something that I feel that they need to restructure. And once you do that, people ain't want to come here no more.
But
They're going to just come to visit because it comes like, you know, when you watch TV and say you want to go Miami, it's so pretty, and you just want to see it. It's going to be one of those sites you want to see, but not to stay because it's how they got there set up. It's not for you to go there and reap harvest.
The thing about it is, what you're talking about is something that should be down the road working in those particular kind of policies now.
Yeah.
While we still have so much amount of power.
Yeah.
that we have.
Yeah. Those are
And
things.
I think one of the primary things that they fail to follow not is asking for the competence of immigration.
Mhm.
Sinbad's did it. They asked for it. I haven't heard any results about it yet, but they got the guts to ask for it. Because when you got the immigrational control, then you're the one who's determining who coming in and how much. You could put a cap. You could put a cap. X amount of people coming from this country.
Yeah.
And when that cap is reached, nobody else can come in
Yeah, until one leave.
until maybe say one leave,
Mhm.
or once the cap is reached, it's blocked
Yeah,
until
yeah,
next year, and then an X amount will come in.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, France has that.
Serious. So why don't you belong here?
It's because they're using this immigrational thing to make us disappear. It's no mystery that it's no mystery that we are flooded out with so much of people. Because I can make a comparison with France, and France have they have Africans and they have Arabs,
Mm-hmm.
and they have caps on them. X amount of them can come for a year. When that cap is filled,
That's it.
you have to
Now, when you say come for a year, they mean visit or live?
more visit and work.
Okay.
Yeah, live and work.
Live and work.
Yes.
So there's a
Visit
limit.
is like a tourist.
Vacation,
Tourist will
yeah,
not be blocked.
yeah.
You come for a particular period of time. But that does not apply here.
One system, like you talk about immigration, I feel is so not put together, but we are living in an era, technology is so advanced. If we could tell when the space shuttle is going to land, why can't we tell when somebody is where they're coming from and who they is, their background? They don't have to send us a police report. But from time that plane leave in the air from that country or that island or that state, say coming to St. Martin, we should know who's on that flight and what they did in their past. You understand? So in that way, it goes vice versa, because America, France, None of those places don't want no killer from St. Martin. You understand where I'm coming from? They don't want no thief or a person that molests children,
Molester, yeah.
molester. You know what I mean? Those are the things. You get people coming here, say, I'll come on vacation and never go back.
Yeah,
Why?
intentionally, yeah.
Yeah, why can't we find where they go? Because if they say they're going by Butte Hotel, for example, we know, okay, Mr. Butte, you're gonna give us a call as soon as this man reach in. We supposed to be on that level. We supposed to know where he's at. You know, when it's time for check out, Mr. Butte should call the airport immigration and say, listen, he checked out and he should be on his way. Now, if he ain't catch that flight, it's time for them to work.
But something else,
It is sad to say working like that, but what I'm saying, when you show people you have control like that, they watch their step. They come
well,
good.
I almost think we outgrew. I remember as a child, my parent had used to rent a couple of houses, and anyone living in their house, they had to go to the gendarme physically with a notebook
Mm-hmm.
and declare that person.
Living by there.
Yeah.
Living there.
That disappeared as an option. I don't know what happened to it, and
Okay.
that's something maybe in the 70s or so. Today that's over with. I don't know if it existed in the South that way or whatever to be. It has, rather than do that, they build more and more apartments, and it attracts people.
Of course.
And when that person get in, guess what? You can say, man, I can live by myself, and I got 5 children in wherever I come from.
Yeah. No sense for them.
And you go send for them. You say, it's okay to bring them. I thought you come to help me build or fill a job because I didn't have enough hand on board. But you're telling me now it's okay. If you had 15, you're going to bring 15. And that's exactly what happened.
And guess what now? So you think the count that we have here on the island is really the count what we have on the island? What situation is it? It's more.
Of course, it's more. A lot of illegals came.
Yeah. It's way
And
more.
and it is fine. And I got a problem, and we have to find the people. But the thing has expanded to the degree that it has taken a life of its own. It has a different. The more it get out of control, creates additional dynamism with it. That the arguments that you had before changes with it. And today, when it's so, each time we permit certain things to go bad, shifts the dynamism that in that day. What is a particular example? Yes, is when you someone leave, and think about that. You leave your country, me, you, whoever to be, and I have 15 children here, or 7, or whatever numbers I want to be, and because I said I'm going to St. Martin because things get difficult. So let me go over there, go look for a job, so that I could bring up my children. You know, rather than you spend your time bringing all that, every one of that children, when they get here, you got to send them to school. They are dependent now. If they can't meet ends meet, the way the system is set up means that you got to take care of them. You want them to live under a certain level that I have. You should say, if you end the time you want to bring into town for you to go, rather than saying bring them. But that means you're easing the load on where that person come from, and you're bringing it on yourself. Okay, and guess what? If you had, like I think one of you was saying, if things was rosy where you came from, you wouldn't be here in the first place, or you wouldn't think about traveling. The best of any country always stays home because they're doing well. Okay, so why would they want to run and go? And we can't get that as an option number because we depend on votes. Because guess what? That is one of the shift in dynamism that came in by letting things get out of hand. I really think the only way out is we got to create a situation where you outright recognize that give the St. Martin as a particular status or privilege that is applicable today only.
But
And-
that's just putting a stop to a lot of things. You got to put a stop to a lot. Whoever goes into power should show where they're putting a stop to things logically. Now, I say that because we look at the passport situation where we know is where there's majority at. So we're gonna look at that. But let's look at the logic sense. Like you said, Lord, the first thing came to my mind where the system is set up. We have foreigners come making kids on the French side at a certain age where they shouldn't be, the last thing they should be thinking of is conceiving a child. But because they're getting French benefit, they're conceiving a child. Now, shouldn't there have an age limit? Is there an age limit for that?
As long as you go get pregnant, you qualify.
That's what I'm saying. So now, and also, where there's an age limit, it should have a starting age and an ending age. Which means don't think because you 15, 16, 13, you make a child, you're going to get help. Which puts more strain on the parents to keep you in line. I think you're going to get help from the government, and it's me, I got to support you in this darn child. The daughter would think differently because there is a beginning stage. Let's say you make 18, 19. You see where I'm coming from? But when you make in 45, what are you doing?
You got 50-year-olds say pushing children
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
So but then there's also the additional angle that says the more you make, the more you get.
Okay.
I think you should privilege the one that has one. So if you say you make one and I give you 1,000, give him 1.5. If you make two, the more the amount you get in general. So and then you get 1.5 no more if you go get a second one. You get 1,000 for the two.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you an incentive.
One child you make could be a mistake or things didn't work out to reach and to be good.
Yes.
Not to be a burden.
And when you
a good child. So which means you could send them to school.
Yes, because I
what
give
school they need to go to. They will dress properly. So when I say dress properly, which means they will put on a Nike pair of shoes and not a cheap shoes. So when they go to school, they don't get no argument because of the shoes and want to fight because look what you dressing and how you dressing. You don't have that excuse. You don't have the excuse of they don't have no money in the pocket to buy food, so they come to school hungry. You know? And so what you say makes sense. There should be a limit, and whoever get elected should just think on reality of realistically, no. You know what I mean? You're not from the country. How much land you have already? You have one land? Okay, one is enough. You can't have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 land. I don't care how much millions you have. Somebody from here wants a land too.
True.
You know what I mean? You know what does hurt me? When you drive through lowlands and you can't go to a beach in lowlands. I bring this back to somebody come and visit your house and you tell them, okay, sleep in that room, and you cannot go in that room for no particular reason. You cannot go in that room. It's not right. You understand me? Why? Because a certain elite of people live down there. Okay, no problem. So they live down there, they build a village down there. We can't go down there. Where you think they going? They ain't going nowhere because everything is down there. So the money's still not circulating. And they have the money, so guess what? They ain't paying no tax.
Yep, and those are the ones that are.
You understand? So it is pushing us back to this dog situation in a corner where we're gonna start backing and biting.
But again, yeah. But it keeps what keeps happening is that it's like it look like everything we do is counterproductive to the Samaritan. You used an example a while ago of the tax incentive. I got just like how I say you give an incentive to Monaco that is coming in. A guy got $1 million, man. You send that in, man. You need to pay nothing on it. One. But similarly for business, it goes in the boy column. Maybe when the government got a little deficit or little quick needs, you can find it because they're just sitting in a bank. But then now you take the business. A guy come in, he tell you, man, I want to do an investment to build this into what, 5 million, and you tell him no tax. but the little guy which you you use and say, the little guy should pay nothing at all.
That's who shouldn't be paying.
You come in to invest, this is how much you got to pay, no more. Guess what? I ain't trying to go no more. St. Martin is a big player in the Caribbean setting. Economically, she's not in the worst off state.
No,
So the
St. Martin's
idea,
very stable,
yeah,
St. Martin is very stable.
exactly. So there's no need to attract this guy. But guess what? Your population is not growing. So why would you want to invest? Have a fella come tell you want to do this and create 500 jobs. I don't got 500 St. Martin people to offer the job, so I don't need it anyhow.
Who's beneficial?
Okay, so if you must come,
With
pay your
beneficial.
tax. Yes,
Pay your tax.
pay your tax full rate. Now, if you still come, you're welcome because you're going to contribute to the government coffers. But when the neighbor hear that boy, a big hotel going on in St. Martin, no God, no some project is going, he start to run come too. So let's go to St. Martin and let's go to they got jobs and you're gonna get and he just might get it because he can take anything.
Yeah.
And you, the St. Martin, is not going to work hard. So your chances of benefiting because of limited hands, the price would go up to get these qualified people, which would be limited. So if a chicken leg, if there's 5 chicken leg for sale and 50 people wanted, you know what's going to happen? The fellow with the most money or the wanted the most, going to pay the most. He going to say, okay, it's $3 a chicken leg, but hey, my son, I get $10 for the chicken leg. I that hungry.
But somebody come with 20 now.
Yeah, exactly. But when you increase the amount of chicken leg to 50 for 50 or 55 for what you begin to worry about, can I sell all? And if I ain't likely to sell all, I'm going to reduce the price so I don't have no spoilage. You see, there's a role reversal. These are the dynamism that comes with every mistake we make. Okay? We should stop the stupidness of tax holiday. It brings down the price of the worker. Because there's a load of wasted hand looking for job. So when I cut stall and say, my son, I ain't doing nothing under $50 an hour, and there's a little fella next door going to say, if you give me 15, I take it. You drag it down for me. And coupled with that now, you say he ain't paying no tax into your government coffers. So guess what you tell me? I got to rise up the price of number plate or to get a but paper, I got to pay this dollar or whatever, because you're leaving somebody get away with it. But me, as soon as I register, not even start to function as a business, you start shipping out tax papers. And you're strong for me because guess what? I can't afford a lawyer. I can't afford an accountant. And when you take me to court, I can't challenge you. But a fellow who tax money that you should have been collecting got the means to not only get one, get the best lawyers to fight everything you try to make him do.
Yep.
Okay, so I lose twice. And the money that he take it, that he spend and money that out of his pocket is a tax money he should have given in the first place. That he using to fight you with. But little poor you who's trying to lift your head out of the water, when you challenge me, I could do nothing. I probably gonna just try to pay because look, I can't go through the lawyer, and if he come a court, yeah, I want to go through the headache because you can't fight it. That is a contradiction. So the more we do, the more we don't see that everything every cause has an effect, and once it shifts for everything.
And with what you're saying there, if they don't make whoever got some power should understand this thing. When you're not fair for the people of the island, you're getting a problem, a situation where that history started playing a role. History started playing a role now. You see where you mess up certain generation. Mess them up because they don't know how they stand. They don't know how they stand. And what you're doing now, the people that's really from there, you're making them weak.
You're popularizing them, yes.
How you're making them weak? Because remember, you bring people that speak Spanish only, can't speak a word of French to sit down next to my child, cannot speak French. You only speak Spanish. And the teacher is speaking French. She got to take time out to teach him. You understand? So you're killing my child, yeah. You're holding him back. You're holding him back. You know, you're bringing in different cultures now. And these cultures have money. They have money. Now, once they have money, there goes again. My kids, you know their culture. They follow in the money culture. You know, so now they start losing value. They lose, there you lose value. You don't know who you is. You understand? So then they start following. And they know who they is. They get lost. They get lost. They get lost. They get lost. You know? And then you bring in, you see, people come, like I go back saying that, people wants to be happy at the end of the day. No matter, some people ain't know what they're living for, but at the end of the day, I believe strongly you're living to be happy. That's your purpose of life, to be happy. But after being happy, you got to have a reason your life now. A reason, because I heard somebody was saying, I forget how it really go, but when Martin Luther King died, he didn't have millions in his bank account, you know? But he known for what he did. You know? So when you elected in power, I think they got to stop looking at the money situation and look at what you're doing for people. So when you step down, you want people to talk good about you. You want people to say positive things about you. You know, you want to move a generation to uprising, so that era you've been there, you could say, between this and this time when I left out of office, this is what I have did. And it's so strong and so bright, you know. And it's like governments and power. Okay, no problem. I said, let's say you go into party. I feel if you're such a good and strong politician, you should already have another party created behind you when it's time for election that has the same vision you have. So whatever you're planning or whatever you're going, that would keep on following through. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, the Ux party, what's being elected, you're not part of the board, but they see the vision where you going. And that is where you get things going right, when people has a vision. Of course, there's going to be objection. Of course, there's going to be opposition, which is okay. That, to me, that's good. That's strength, which means if you're doing something, you should come correct, you know. But there, you know, you start to farm things because there's follow-ups. Once there's follow-ups with positive things, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. Just so think when you get into power, think on making a change. Don't think on the pocket. Think on making a change.
Well,
Yeah.
it is so. It's clear by now that it's easier said than done, because they just can't get it.
You can't get that done.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
it looked like the first thing that goes through the door is that, you know, thinking in behalf of the people, which I don't know if they say, well, they clearly they did what they had to do. They sell their soul, they sell their mother, their father, their grandmother, who they never see, to get elected. In other words, you uproot all of them and you say it's about us. And remember, in one election, they say, yeah, they vote for me. I should got just as much rights as it was the St. Martin or whatever to be. We got the consequences of it today. And I personally think that people like that, as long as they are loyal, there should be no statutory limits on mistake and crime against a people. If you're 84 years old and you do wrong, you should pay your price. Okay? He has made massive mistake against the St. Martin people, and even though he's an aging person, and do it to me. Let's be so that somebody don't say, Lord, this, Lord, that. Do it to me if I do wrong too. And I know that I think I don't remember his name. One of the guys that was responsible for the Israeli Holocaust, and he ran and he was living in Argentina. Old guy, You think the Israeli as a nation worried about whether he old and leave him alone? They forget him. They run down there. They investigate him for as long as they could have. When they was able to be sure they kidnap him, they take him back. You're going to spend your time. It was crime against our people. And we must be able to reach to that. As long as they are alive, if they know it, a firm can't get a hand lift, who cares? Pay the price. Because you're still breathing on God.
The crime you commit, there was a cause and effect.
Yes,
You
exactly.
damage people's lives.
Exactly. And so your life, no matter what age it is, should not be precious enough because you're an elder. Before you get an elder, you did something wrong to a people, and you should pay. Period. Like I said, if I didn't do it to me, don't worry about whether I'm talking because no, I didn't do it to me too. And if the book say it, it's not whether I say it or not, it should be applicable to me.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of people that has done this community harm, walking around scot-free. It's how they say, it's relaxing their mind that everything is all right. Okay, and we supposed to know. And the war in which was Sarajevo, whatever that area, that's a war that happened in the 80s during the Clinton era. All of them spending the time in jail in front of the courts. They grab them and they come before the world courts. Why? Because of what they did in the past. Why in the world the harm that was done to St. Martin people, as long as they are alive, make them pay.
We can't do that.
Okay, make them pay.
It would be good, but we can't do that because you see that's where we fall back on what I said earlier. We don't have no rules and regulations and laws set for us. Yeah, we in control, and that is where the article 44
74.
74, sorry. And there's other articles and all these kind of things, Why can't we create our own?
Because of these very people
You understand?
that has did us harm.
Yeah. Why can't we create our own? Or when this person goes into power, you go into power and you decide this is best for the country until whatever you decide is best. We're going with what you say is best until your term is up. And you see, when your term is up, best to go back to how it was. Because what you said wasn't beneficial, You understand? Because in that sense now, it brings in the opportunity for us to try something new, to see what is beneficial to us. Now, even though if it goes back and it starts from zero, you as a good politician would know, hey, that was beneficial to us. You know what I mean? But I feel certain rules, certain laws, and that been put into place, I find we should find a way to stop it. Find a way to create certain rules and laws that will benefit the people, and let the political party that wins hack them up. See where it's going to benefit the people. They should talk to whoever in charge and see if we could have that leniency or that grace period. Let's try this new law in St. Martin. This is what I think would be good for the people. And let me see where this is going to take the people for my term, with my terms, and until when my years is up. It's 4 years? 5 years. 5 years. So when that 5 years is up, remember now, another party won that position. If what that first party said is good, that party going to come back with it. But if it's not good, the people ain't suffering no more.
But we probably should be even thinking about a new way of politics, of electing the people in the country. I think probably.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I think probably electoralist is obsolete. It's not going to help our situation. We could probably say, okay, you want to do a party? What is the viability of the party to run the country? It can be confirmed. You give them a term. You get this term to do well. And if in between time, if another fellow come up with a party, He didn't get the chance. Give him a chance.
Why?
Because we don't know.
What he's capable of doing.
We don't know what he's capable of doing. He just might be the good one. Now the risk is that if he do good and another one come, you still want give him that chance.
There you
But
go.
it's not perfected. But I'm just trying to. My mind is telling me look, my son,
Give everybody a chance.
give everybody a chance. And no, the thing though is everybody don't feel they got it cutting for politics. So you probably wouldn't end up 100.
Everybody don't deserve a chance. Because according to where they're going, their vision for the country now, that's where the line grow thin.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say with what you're saying there, if you want to give everybody a chance, I think right there we're supposed to have a selected board. Now, a selected board is the people that is purebred, St. Martin. Now,
Well, you see a point. You know what I'm saying. Okay.
now I don't
I
care
could live with that.
who could want to sit and run from St. Martin. But once you have a selected purebred St. Martin, which means you don't think you just get a passport yesterday because maybe there's a law been put into place that we can't take back their passport. Okay, we can't take it back, but you cannot vote. Sorry. You could travel on it. You don't need no visa, but you cannot vote. I'm sorry.
And that is interesting. Is I think the fact that if you give, and it's not us that issues this passport, that must be said, but we must be able to say, look, you got it, but you only voting under 15 years or
Yeah.
20 years.
No, 20 years.
Yes, under 20 years, you
Yeah.
can't participate in local
Yeah,
politics.
you cannot.
So but if Holland choose or France choose to say you do 5 years, you're entitled, I got no problem with that because France you're going to vote. And if you
but they who say is okay.
yeah, for them, yes.
You go by them.
One go along and vote. But by me under 20 years, if you got a problem, then don't look for the don't live here.
Yeah.
Don't live here.
Yeah.
So-
You don't
so-
know what we going through.
No. And I don't want you to how they say destabilize me.
Exactly.
Okay, but in 20 years, if you here, you probably would. By time then, you probably
You understand-
you're interested in
But
much of
think
a
that-
voting
think
issue.
that-
No,
No, you're interested, but you understand where I'm coming from.
yeah, of course, clearly,
Yeah,
clearly.
you understand the struggle now.
Mhm.
So now you have a say because you've been through the struggle. You understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you still think what I'm saying is not right, you're okay because you're here for 20 years. You went through the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? But you got to show me proof now because I feel voting should go two ways. Don't come and vote because you have a passport and you're here for 20 years. You should vote because you work in the system, which means you have a job. And I don't care what kind of job you have, but you got a job and you're paying taxes here, or you own a business and you're paying taxes here for 20 years. Why? Because you're going through the struggle. Not you got a passport 20 years, you go abroad, you live and you come back here, now it's time to vote.
But that's where, but interestingly, if you want to be able to vote, you got to live in St. Martin continuously for 20 years.
Go through
You
the
put a
struggle.
hole in there of 100, you live out for as simple as 1 year. You got to start over, you conquer again.
Yeah.
So stay here until, so you lock yourself. So if you know you want to put your foot on cost you,
Yeah.
okay? And
Certain
so you
rules,
might,
yeah.
yes, and you might want to come. So, and then not only that, 20 years, go do what? Guess what? Would mean by, if you come here 30, by the time you could vote, you're 50. Okay? And if you come here 25, by the time you could vote, you're 45. You're in the same person. And you just
And you
probably might tell yourself, I ain't gonna spend myself, I ain't gonna spend no 20 years in one country if things economically go bad.
Well, not really.
So I don't lose.
You're gonna stay, but you see, you could stay because you're working, the money's good and everything.
But you might lose job. In 20 years,
yeah,
things
but
changes.
The whole thing is, you don't have no say on what's going on with the people.
Yes, correct.
So you might stay, you might earn your money, but all you could do is sit aside.
You know, I'm looking at this situation as quicksand. Yeah, we in quicksand. Whatever you do, you're going down. If you don't do nothing,
You're going
You're going
upstairs.
going down. Yes. So I going down with something. You know? And the fact that a lot of St. Martiners are scared to even open their mouth. You know? Imagine a St. Martin tell me something I did a feel shame in the St. Martin. I say, wow. Man, that's the bottoms there, man.
Which means you give up, eh?
When you thinking I could be
Shane,
the last in Martin on this island. I still got
Shane,
my pride with me, man. I still got my feelings. Never giving it up.
you
You know,
kn- that, that,
that,
so
those things showing me how difficult the task is, and the fact that we find ourselves in this position, I can just keep looking at France. He's the one that did it to us because we don't control immigration. Because if we were controlling immigration, we would have never flood ourselves out like that. You know what I'm saying? But France did this to us expressly because when she come back into this country after slavery for a while, she see how we were taking care of ourselves without any kind of help from her, and we speak in English, and we more Americanized than French. She didn't like it, so she set out on a task to destroy us. Our coffee was too black, so she filled the cup with milk. And you could probably hardly see that. Oh yeah, you got a little trace of coffee in there someplace, but it's
Sorry.
still fooling it up. People need to realize these things because I feel that the brush fires that we set in people's minds once catch their subconscious is going to be liberated from this colonial mentality, from this slavish
Slave-
mentality.
slave.
And then they're going to be able to make proper decisions for themselves and they can choose where we want. Because even though we are a minority, we still can control. We could start playing economically, and we could start concentrating on two things: the economic play that we need to play, which calls for finance, so we have to find ways and means to get hands on that, and the educational scene in order to back it up. With those two,
put together.
man, we could make the biggest difference in this
Yeah,
country.
we can. We can make a difference.
Yes.
We can make a difference. You see, when you say they looked at St. Martin and see how independent St. Martin is, I want you to, when you say there, it really touched me because when we say we got a house in St. Martin, we have a house with land. When they say in Europe and France and those big countries they got a house, it's very rare is a house with land. It's a house and a house apartment complex in a condo. They bought that condo. When we say we have a car, we have a Jeep, but they're driving some small little gets or small little European French car, small little thing. When they come down here and see what we drive in, how we live in, we are boss here.
Yep.
And the saddest part about that whole situation, where they killed the whole thing, is how we got it was by helping each other. Which means if I know you and you building, hey, a building Sunday come now, my wife cooking. You understand? And I will come because I know you're gonna help him because not next month but next year you plan to build. You save enough
Yeah.
money to get some blocks.
And you expect
guess
that
what?
help.
No, you don't expect that help. He is gonna come and help.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You understand? Or he would advise you, listen, that land over there, something cheap and something, go get it. You want some help? You understand? Talk to so and so that could help you out. You know, and that was the movement for some people to get what they got. You know, and so a lot of people don't understand that was the heart and soul of St. Martin. That's where it comes. The friendly island. That where the friendly island came in. You know? Right there.
And you see that jollification, we're helping each other.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just building house alone, you know, it was
No.
also helping each other take care of the gardens.
Yeah.
And that is what we lost.
We were taking care of each other.
Yeah. And we lost that.
Yeah. We was taking care of each other. We were so taking care of each other. Another parent could have bit someone else's child. You must have crazy. You must have crazy. You know, you go in any building, you go anywhere now. People in the South, down now, and I pay attention to people very closely. People would come into a bus, because I catch bus right now. People would walk in that bus, come into that bus and don't say good morning. They will walk into the room, to the office or whatever, do not say good morning, don't say good afternoon. If you walk in and you say good morning or good afternoon, you do get no answer.
Oh yeah.
Listen to who answer, or listen to who say good morning. It's those people that have been here for 20 years and over, or those people in age what knows respect. It is so sad that with those little morals there, that little respect, you could see that we're not taking care of each other. We're not taking care of each other. When a deal was going on anywhere, people used to call people and tell people, hey, the deal is happening over there. Contrary, one person tried to take the whole deal.
Yeah. And leave out nothing.
You understand? And now, be logic. You're from here, and people that you don't know acting like that. What you gonna do? You're gonna start to act like that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have no choice because you're gonna get left out. And that's the sad part right there. And that's where things start changes. Things start to change right there because these people ain't know the value, the morals the island was
That made the
on.
island, yeah.
You know, they don't know that. They don't understand that. They don't understand the principles the people them used to live by. The heart and soul the people them used to live by. So they just come and all they understood one thing, money.
Yeah.
We're hitting about 31 right now.
Mhm.
Even though I didn't do it from the beginning, I think I'll do it now.
No,
I gotta make sure get it in.
Get it in, stick it in.
Who is a Saint Martiner? A Saint Martin is a person who can trace his or her roots from one or both parents to 1963 or before. These are bloodline relatives who can't be separated by nationality or colonial borders. It's not about born here or born to be here. It's about blood. We are people of faith. We are people of love. We are people of unity. We are the friendly island. We will pursue the plan that God has for our life and Ireland because we say so. Now, the reality here when we're talking about blood, some people just kind of respond along the line like, oh, you don't like foreigners. But let us have to keep drawing our attention to the fact we are not in charge where immigration is concerned. If we were, we wouldn't have leave all our you come here so much and
Point blank.
flood us out. And the fact that you are here in such a vast number and all the benefits and the social system seem to be coming your way, the jobs are coming your way, my demise is just over the hill. So therefore now, this is what we put in place is to recognize ourselves, to defend our roots, to promote our roots. And you shouldn't take that like as if I don't like you. My fight is not with you. And I tell a lot of foreigners that whether you're Haitian or Dominican, you come here trying to get a better life. And I could understand that because St. Martin's leave here and went elsewhere looking for a better life when things was bad. The point that I'm stressing is that you, as a foreigner, you are being used and you don't even know it. You are being used by the colonial forces to bring about my demise, which is what they want. Because everywhere else, whether it's Nouvelle Caledonie or Réunion, where the people from that country kick up and went on, France realized that if I was to cause their population to become a minority, they wouldn't be thinking on more autonomy, and they wouldn't be thinking along the lines of independence, which is what she don't want us to be thinking of. So she's walking her walk proper, and it's coming through proper for how she wanted. And we knowing this is what she's doing, we have to stand against it. Hence, here comes Swaliga Grassroots.
Because if you're not majority, you can't think.
No, exactly. That's the problem.
If you're not majority, you cannot think.
But there lies the change in dynamism that I talked about with everything we do. For every mistake we make, there is a change in dynamics. There's a change in reality. There's a change in the way the type of thing you have to do to get back to the way you want. We lose the majority game, And we can't think about independence if we are not the majority and want to get there politically. That's the difference. And which is why I say a while ago, our solution is not political because it will never solve our problem. Okay? Now, if we had maintained control, we could have do it politically. You probably wouldn't have to worry about, man, we just call for the referendum and bam, problem solved. Because of the mistake we make off the table,
So
no
we're saying
longer
that.
political.
So we're saying that. What do you think of the whole discussion? What do you think is the one drastic change we could make if you go into power? I elect you, and I elect you. You're gonna for power. What is your drastic change you would change? One. Don't give me 3, 4, 5. One thing that you think you would change, and 5 years, because in 5 years you're out of there, would help St. Martin. What's that one thing? I put me on a spot, but what do you think then?
But Bob, when you come with this one thing, you always catch me off guard. That's number one.
Okay, let's take it back. I give you 5 things because you got 5 years. Go down the line for me. You got 5 years. So which
Okay,
means you go down the line because every year.
Interesting.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
you're making money. At least it's already more
Yeah.
manageable.
Okay.
I think, and you hit the nail on the head, or that one came up already in the discussion that we had here, education.
Good.
Education. Now, education is extremely broad. So what is
Yeah,
meant?
I was just gonna take.
Yeah, what
break that
is
down.
meant by that? I would interest our young people in law.
Law.
In law. Choose whatever area you want. I couldn't care less because right now we got none. So if we get 5 of them say they just want to be just lawyers and that's not sufficient, that is good too.
Just know the law.
Just know law. Train them in law. Assume their school costs 100%. So all we need a child to do, or a young person, is to go to school and learn. Hand me the result. And you ain't got nothing to worry about. You ain't got to worry about apartment. You ain't got to worry about eat. You ain't got to worry about busing. You're in and out. You ain't got to worry about going visiting your family because you performing.
Taking care of it.
And I know if you keep it up in 5, 6 years, you're back home, qualified.
Okay. So that's one.
That's one.
Education.
Education. So guess what? Before I go to the number 2, it makes it easy to say that in maybe in 10 years, 15 years, those lawyers can pick up the legal fight and go for the independence argument that we think we need. The other one is,
We're number 2 now, eh?
yeah, we are number 2 is the famous, and I think we talk about it already and you modify it. I say, we create millionaires. And I think you remember you arguing and saying, well, and probably say, what, capable people, you know.
With power, you mean?
Yes. So in other words, what's the benefit of that mean? How does that mean is that you give them monopolies. Monopolies would mean you could be indiscriminate. It doesn't matter at this time. And indiscriminate sounds a little harsh, but what is meant by that is that I could take, for example, any single thing. You got a fairly big population with for the most part, the ability to buy. Because the government give them free money. They probably ain't spending it, but let's go for one, bread. Or if you don't want some bread, you say flour. Flours come in the bread, what I call it. You find St. Martin's, naturally that's what we're going to talk about, not one other thing. And you say, look, you as a company, you got a monopoly on flour. Every bag of flour coming to this country comes through you because you got exclusive. What do you think will happen in 5 years? I'm super millionaire. Okay. And I could repeat that for a dozen, a couple of hundred type of stuff or whatever. It must only be monopolies. It could simply be certain areas in business that is reserved for
what you're
some.
saying makes sense. Look at Caribbean Auto.
Okay.
They're bringing car. Lovlan bringing a complete different car.
Mhm.
You understand? So I understand you 100%.
Okay. So at the end of the day, before we go to number 3, it does what? You
Turn it for millionaires.
you turn them
You
into
got some
millionaires with discretionary income. Who got discretionary income on this island? The Guyanese, which is the guy from what I call it, Otto. to his credit, Maxud, to his credit, the guy, I does get the impression he's probably one of the only companies that puts back a bit in the community. So that is good. That is good. But yes, yes, exactly. But there's hundreds of others. The Indian community in whatever to be, they don't put back not a dime. But the part that
not cutting, if a lot of them put in like how he was putting in,
it would make a
it
massive
would make a
difference.
big difference.
Yes, exactly.
When you come about employees and he helps them out a lot.
And but discretionary mean, if I got means, you got a child for whatever reason, and good in sport, want to go study, an opportunity comes up to buy a hotel that to go bad and they just want to get rid of it. And they say, man, look to what, 150, but if somebody come up with 75, I could do it. If you got millionaires, you could do that with your own people. And if you the leader that create them, could call them in and say, fellas, look now, I go buy that. I don't want a dime in it. Just buy it.
This is coming in the market. I get prepared.
You got just prepare. Guess what? You got a discretionary funds to do it. Okay.
Education create millionaires.
Education create millionaires. Okay. The third one is what? The third one is rather simple. St. Martin's can't sell land to foreigners. Don't cost on it a dime in investment. All it is a law.
So now, whatever have been sold now, what's going to happen to that?
Interesting. When you create a millionaires, they could buy back because the foreigners, guess what? You tell the foreigner he can't buy no more. And if he's selling, he can't sell to a foreigner no more. Problem solved. And it don't cost a dime.
You're making me feel good enough.
You know, it don't cost a dime. Everything stays in, and I'm structuring it for it to come back.
Okay, good.
Okay? All right. But in between there, I said the St. Martin could only fella could buy land. St. Martin, he could buy. No, he too can't sell it to foreigner. No, but he could buy from whoever he wants. So only he could buy from the foreigner. The foreigner cannot sell land. If you have it and you want to keep it 100 years, I ain't gonna drag it out your hand. But the day you want to sell it, only could send it back inside. Don't cost no money.
That's simple.
That's
number 3 now.
That's number 3.
Yeah. So we got education, we got create millionaires, and cannot sell land.
Third one, don't cost no lot. Yeah, fourth one, don't cost no money. You define the St. Martin.
Define.
You define the St. Martin. Who's the St. Martin? Because it's all what was said above, and that probably could be the first one, but then I'll be just giving it in a random order. Yeah.
When you say define, now define a St. Martin.
Define a St. Martin. It's already done. What I mean is give a legal teeth to the definition of the St. Martin. He's defined, and I give him a load of privileges.
But define it for me.
Well, we gotta read it here. Oh, you want?
I want to hear you say it. Define it quick for me. Define it quick for me.
Well, it's rather easy. And as the grassroots definition, and this is the basis of our program, our definition is the St. Martin is someone who history reach is pre or before 1963. Meaning he before that period of time, pretty much the world as a population, everybody was at home. Yeah, nobody was not all over the world. Everybody pretty much was home by them. Okay? So that 63 could apply to any nation if they want. Okay? Any nation could have it if they want. When did St. Martin start to travel? They did not used to travel in the last century. They started travel about typical of the time that we took as a cutoff period, for example. You had to stay home. So 1963 and before is the St. Martin. So anyone, yeah. So how you get me in? If I lock in, I ain't got a problem. But think about my child. How does I lock in? By the blood. That's it. It's a blood thing. So once you do it a blood thing, it means he don't necessarily have to be born after that date. The blood would bring him in automatically. That is the St. Martin. All right. So I define him. That is the gang that could buy, sell privileges. I could show you 1 or 2 privileges. He walk in an airport. He could walk off the plane. You want to put a electronic machine to see if he bring guns. I don't want to follow that. Don't control him. He home. Don't control him. Don't embarrass him and allow him. St. Martin's, Grando, he could stay the street and cast past him at home. He could go in, come back out. If he want, he go sit down in the car with the family, laugh, talk, come back through the door to pick up his luggage. You, the father, can't do it.
Give him that freedom.
Give him that privilege and that honor because he's home. He's home.
He go stand and
Yeah, and if you want, you could go and show off and everybody else. Like, go walk in, walk out, you can't do it because home.
Yes.
Okay? That is some of the privileges that you, even if you come after, you can't get it. Follow the conditions to be met. It's a handful of people that you try to preserve. It's a handful of people that you try to preserve. I don't know if maybe by 4, let me leave the what I call it, but let me maybe tighten the number 4 still by saying what? Guess what? In there we could package a lot of little privileges. And I'll give the number 5 to the brother, but it's this. You cannot, whoever to be the investor, we got it done there. And the process is to be able to take back control and bring back in the riches and the land and whatever to be in the hand of St. Martin people. You can't get a bank and refuse a St. Martin alone. Couldn't care less of his viability or not. Okay? If you feeling viable, the government should be able to say, okay, he can't get a do. I stand guarantee for him. So
Okay.
I
I question that, you know.
okay, all right.
Why I question that now?
Mm-hmm.
What he stands for?
Well, you know, that could be answered. That could be answered in 1,000 ways. Not 1,000 ways,
He,
but
he wants to open up business, but he don't have no credit. He got to come with somebody who could back him financially. He got to have. I don't feel a bank should just give anybody a loan. I don't know how you say it, if you mean like that. But what I'm saying is, what you're saying is true. We don't stand a chance. But I feel if you have a certain job for a certain amount of years, you know, if your family has property and land, you know, one of them stand for you. Collateral, that's the right word. There shouldn't be no for you. You know, I feel certain grounds where as a St. Martiner, depends on your background, depends on your history. No is not a word you should hear when you step into a bank to talk business.
okay. Let me fine tune it, and I understand it probably. Well, not probably. If I had to be broad, I hand you broad, and you more or less saying fine tune it. Look, if you pick any rich family on this island, they ain't got a lot. One or two.
Locally, you mean?
Yeah, locally. North or south, there's one or two, and we know them on the back of our hands. They comfortable for whatever reasons or whatever to be. And their descendant, they're still here. And those who may be big at the creation of the wealth, for the most part, is already gone or old enough to be on their way through the door. Their descendant don't want a problem. Whether they're ambitious or not, they don't want a problem. They're going to get a loan if they ever just wake up and say, boy, I see a fancy Porsche down the road, I want to buy it. You know what I call it. It's a privilege of being
Wealthy.
and you're being wealthy. There should be privileges of being what? A St. Martiner. That's the point. Now, all St. Martiners will not have money. But you
But should get that
but
fair
should
opportunity.
have that opportunity to don't be living in poverty. You could come and say, and you,
Makes sense. That's where
yeah,
you're coming from.
it could come to, well, and look, a young person just start off, or some born with their parent, they ain't big landowners, but they got property. Not enough to go and throw away or sleep on or get born and don't worry about it. But if they want a better house, they have the land. So they don't have the option of thinking, I need to buy land. But there are those that is ambitious and don't have land.
Don't have nothing but
Don't,
have ambition.
yes, but don't have exactly. I want a house. I want a farmer family. I want what I call it.
There should
Bank.
be
They
some
should
subsidy
be a
there for
structure
that.
that said that person
Yeah.
cannot be refused. Now the bank will say, "Well, look, I'm in the business of making money." Fine. Then even if the government come in as a privilege for the St. Martin and say, "Fine, okay, you feel you don't meet the condition." If he go someone alone, we stand. Guess what? Sooner or later, he would, and he just maybe we might get 15% mess up. But if there's 100 of them, 85 go through good.
But right there now, if you tax them,
Mm-hmm.
foreigners the right way.
You know, like I said, I feel we shouldn't, because we're such a small population, St. Martin shouldn't pay tax.
No, I'm
Everybody
saying
else should pay.
Foreigners are coming in now. That's where the government could stand strong and say,
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes. They must go through the roots. You don't make a condition that you can't. I can't guarantee for you. I got my people back. Okay. Now, if the bank refuse, but going money, well, I see you can't buy land now. Like it was a famous word. Somebody said lease or go rent an apartment.
lease or rental.
Yes, and if you don't like that lifestyle, buy then take the plane. You know, there's Liat and American Airlines every day. So just jump if you so choose one. You know, so that is another way of saying all my people must be up to a certain level.
Once they choose
Yeah,
to
I say probably all you know supposed to be able to buy an RD,
but we ain't gonna be in
but I
trouble.
want everyone to be able to buy minimum of food. Okay, and be able to send his child to school. The guaranteed minimum for being a St. Martin. You come home, you walk out the airport because you're home. That people has that privilege. Who don't like it, again, this is the airport we're talking about, just go back and climb back the plane. We got no problem with that. I leave the fire, but I just throw in an additional thing. I think the issue of Black and St. Martin's at their beach is an easy game. That you need 5 years. That need first, the decree in government is the first one. Move, stop your stupidness, or send a bulldozer through the yard so that my people could come. And when 11th whole Easter come,
We go with
I
peace.
don't want nobody tell me they're going to gated community as long as they got a beach in the back of that, what you call it?
over there, yeah.
Yes,
I go
he
into that.
going through. Okay? And if you put up a gate, I send no ambulance in there. And I send no fire truck in there.
Yeah.
Because it's public.
No, you cannot put up a
You can't put up the gate.
Period.
Okay? You should put up a gate on a home if you want. And I encourage you to do it.
Yeah, no problem.
But not 50 homes. And you'll select or close off a beach in the back of it and tell me that I can't go break it down. If you keep it up, I'll come and break it down. With me as leader in the front, I break down that gate.
Because beaches for the public.
Naturally. And
Public.
naturally.
Period.
You can't put up a beach in the back of a way. And even in a hill, like me want to go there. But as long as it is to be served by fire department, health department, when you got sickness, it's going to affect me too. And when you got sickness, you expect me to come in there to go through it, don't put up the gate. Don't put up the gate. Okay? But if there's a rule that go through in every house want to put up a gate, I'm fine with that. Okay, but do not shut down the way I call it.
You see, you wouldn't have no problem with that too. The gates, I think the gates wouldn't be so high now because they lease it.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I don't need number four. The last one or two more for him if that's the word.
Yeah, I think the fifth one should be something along the line like what I mentioned a while ago. X amount of business. If the government could put a tax holiday in place, an incentive to encourage St. Martiners to do that, that would be something good. Because coming together financially, like you mentioned a while ago, is a difficulty. Somebody put money for you to manage my money, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But if the government put an incentive in place, exceptionally, that if a group of St. Martiners come and put money together to do a business, because they come together to do a business in a group of St. Martiners, they automatically get a tax holiday for 5 years. That would be an incentive to create the atmosphere where more people
But
can
come together and work
And
together.
That incentive alone is more like a gregarious something, kind of bring us together.
No, it goes back. It goes back to
It
where
goes
people
back.
are helping each other now.
Exactly.
It goes back to that.
So it's more like an incentives, a financial incentive to help us be able to see, wow, that's a good thing coming together, but look at that. I ready, you ready? Yeah, we're gonna do this. You see what I'm saying? And others gonna look at that, and others gonna look at that, and next thing you look, you got groups of St. Martin's got business going, groups of St. Martin's got business going, because like I said before,
We're getting stronger.
you're not a millionaire, I'm not a millionaire, he's not a millionaire.
But together,
We put a little piece on the table, we got a million.
we become a million.
And then if we set up a company and an incentive, tax-wise for the
course.
government, to say, okay, you guys automatically have 5-year tax holiday.
Mhm.
Then we could compete with the imported businesses.
Important business. Yeah.
I think that would probably
Well,
explain number 5 to me big time.
you see, with all what we said there, from what I gathered, I just would like change. Change. When I say that change, I want a change. I want a change, and I want that change make me feel like I value something. See, once that change come along, and you see that you value something, you're gonna follow that change. And I feel that's where locals, they're like, again, come with the same thing again, man. It's a discouraging situation where you see people coming and repeating the same thing or sounding like somebody else, or you see other people coming and getting benefits that you find that, man, I've been standing in line for the longest and me getting the benefits what they getting. When you're looking at those things, I feel the person that gets into power honestly should make a drastic change. And when they make that change, think on that change of going down in history of putting things back in order for the people. Nothing don't happen overnight. But I feel if you have a strong plan.
What you call it for? No, wishing for, dreaming for don't cost a lot of, practically don't cost a dime. And some of the time it is little things that makes a big difference.
That's true.
And making the St. Martin feel like he's important in a big investment. He costs 50 million. He costs 100,000, a million, 0.5 million, nothing. Simple little things. You give him his beach. He feel like he's in power again. You let him when he walk in on the airport. And I keep saying the other day, not the other day, you go to I think it does it mainly in Miami. I didn't see it much in San Juan. And Miami is a Caribbean hub, so you got this convergence of many flights from all over. So in the waiting area, it is thousands of people one time coming in, all kind of flights coming in. And now if it was an internal flight, all you do walk off the plane. Famous what I was just using ago. All you do is walk off the plane if it's an internal flight. If you leave out of San Juan, you don't clear customs if you use an international. But that flight, once you set down, you don't see you don't see immigration again. You walk to go pick up your stuff.
Yep.
But if it is an international flight, you go through immigration. But if their people is in that population of visitors, yes, this guy, and he already hear me in my mind now, saying, American citizens this way, everybody else that way. And he pulled them off, or he pointed them off that little side door. You don't see them again. Now you, the foreigner, or the alien as they call foreigners over so, is subjected to 4 to 5 hours standing, waiting in line
To visit.
to get in, maybe to go spend money, to get in, to make them richer, or whatever to be. You make you feel like a dog. There's no honor in getting in. And if you ever get bored, I could attest to this individual who probably had a connection flight, and he just wanted to step out of the line to say, look, if I got to make this line when my time come, I miss my flight. Then the custom officer step forward and say, sir, go back in line. Then ask him up or down. You don't want me to lock you up 2 seconds or turn you back and send you back up the steps of the plane, you go on, then just behave yourself and get in line. Okay? And that's how it goes. The American citizen is made to feel at home because rightfully so he's at home. Why should I be subjected each time I come in at Juliana or Esperance to a line that exposes me to everybody from Hispaniola, everybody from India, everybody from France as an equal? I feel sick to go through the experience. I should, now I'll give a little example how that worked. When we was in school, and that's donkey years, man, but they used to have this little library and you want to learn books. So they got the books and they say, who want to learn the book? But they pick it alphabetical order. So guess what? If your name and my family name is Witt, W. So if somebody that is interested in that book, name Bella, he's a B.
First preference?
He got first preference. There's no chance I'll get that book.
And W don't give.
Because W all the way down there. But the next week or the next time, they inverse the order and guess what? They start from the Z and the way call it. So next time, so I is in a privileged position. So I could guess what? Cut style and know that, okay, you want to book me when you get it, I just could just put up my hand and get it. In other words, the moral of the story is that if the St. Martin's come home, he should, if he so wish, want cut stall and everybody else. Look, I home. I know you're on that flight here, but when I reach home, you can watch me walking through the door. Yes, because I'm home. Okay? And when I want to see to the American tourists, you're looking back after, when it comes to anymore, that's not the issue. My turn to don't be reminded that American citizen go this way. This is my turn to say, St. Martin's, that's your door, and watch me going through. That's the so guess what? That didn't cost 150 million. That's just a matter of policy that could be established in the space of 1 to 2 days. If you want to take a week, if you can give you a month max. So if you tell me you need to create a door or the way you call it, I'll give you a month. And then yes, and then put it in place and then to go. Okay, simple little things could make the St. Martin feel like he's like God. No, naturally. The law is contrary saying the public beaches cannot be closed off.
Is there a lot of block of public road? It's going to the beach is a public road, eh?
It shouldn't be, exactly.
Should be a public road going to the beach.
So going to the beach, yes, correct, exactly. And that's interesting.
Why is there that
and
blocked off?
now that you say that, I remember JJ for XXM chat, say he on the, and they said it in the chat on the day before Easter, he said he went to the lowlands and asked, back he's got a little distance and reaching from the gate with these guards, and indications are they're armed, and you're dealing with people that is, how they say it again, proficient in arms. Say, well, I want to go to my beach. He said, yeah, the beach is what I call it, but it's a private road, and if once you're going to the beach, don't stop, just go straight through. Okay? Now, the point goes right in the direction that you ask. Can you have a private road to a public beach? And if you said that from the time I know myself, the same road existed. So how in the world to get private now?
Private road.
A private, yeah. You take it and turn it to private. Until I can't stop on my way, I can't take pictures, you're mad. But you get it said because somebody ain't defending the people.
So this is my own. You gonna tell me what to do with it?
But that's what they did. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They tell me what to do with it. And they tell me I can't stop. So I don't know. So if I throw in an element of a flat tire, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't stop. I must roll on the wheel, mash up my tire just because you sit as a private road. Or when to storm, the same person who probably you tell can't stop. If you walking with the ambulance department, when one or you take sick or got a heart attack, I could come and go through tech all the time I want to go serve you or keep you alive or keep your house from burning. But other than that, if I want to, I can't go to the beach
I
yet.
could drive in with the ambulance, and I could drive in with the fire truck.
And
I am the driver.
Yeah, I the same driver.
I am the same driver. So now I want to take my family to the beach.
No, exactly. I can't stop. Go straight to the beach.
Have a problem?
We have a problem. The problem is done there. The problem is done there.
I think the problem is the fact that we're not doing anything about it. Not that change and come the way it is. That's not the problem. The problem is that we're not doing anything about it.
Yeah, we in a bad situation, you know. And I know it's time for us to get out of here. I just want to say something really quick. When really got disappointed. When they come to a conclusion to deal with that border, where they change that, when they change that, because one couldn't do it without the other, okay? When they change that, I said, real man. You, right there, right there, right there, right there. That's like we going to France, moving the Tour de France, America, and tell them move the Statue of Liberty because we got something better to put there. That's that.
But that's sacrilege. You is liable to be shot on public square to think, not even to do it. You talking about
Yeah.
think. I mean, do it. That's different.
That government who was in place at that time, that shows you right there, St. Martin at Heart was nowhere considered. And their pocket, don't forget the pocket.
Yep, yes. Slash their pocket, yeah.
The landowners was already comfortable because they got the money. Their pocket, they ain't satisfying the landowners. They satisfying their pocket. And that is sad.
But you see, I it's the word sad don't enter my vocabulary because I think it's as a way of saying, hey, that's pretty much it. It's never pretty much it. There's always a will. Probably I didn't get a whole hog, but I get peace. That remind me probably a cool thought, but whoever the Pete did it, and they had this instance where sometime back they said this person maybe wanted a lamb leg. But that's sometimes that can just maybe a lamb and a goat or whatever to be on the sheep, and just cut out the leg and went with the part that they want. Cool thought. Apparently a real thing that happened. We must understand that if we love we country, we probably lose the leg. Use the lamb that lose the leg. But guess what? You got another leg. And you got 3 more legs. And I remember my parents was a child, we had a dog, he get shot, he lose one of his shoulder, one of his leg. And man, the dog had a normal, you running with that dog, you had a dick on to keep up with him if he choose to run with you, you know. But think about it, if he did resign to the fact that by a lose a leg, I want dead. But will remain an option to live if you so wish. Okay, so the thought of sad simply means that it is resignation. We ought to know that, look, there is always hope.
I know, when I say sad,
But not you more than.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, I say that to say, putting someone in government, putting someone in power, you got to really know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know, that's why I say that to say this. You got to know what it stands for. You got to see where they want to take the country. You got to see what they plan to do for the people. You know, you got there's little things you would do to a country that will kill the economy and the people. You know what I mean? And when you start to think of it, right there you're gone. Because you see
Again, I think it has to do with change in dynamics because of their strip. And it will keep changing as time go by. The longer we wait and the more they keep making mistakes, the dynamics change with it.
and like not cutting you. So like you're saying, penalties because they messed up the island. People like them, what did things like that,
Yes, should pay the price.
yeah, because that's something wrong with it, there.
Crime against our people.
You in government and you leaving people block off government road.
Mhm.
You did a crime, man.
Yes.
You got rights to do something what's wrong.
Mhm.
You're taking away from your people.
And mind you, well, the books say, meaning the law say, you can't do it. So they
break a law.
they fail to execute the law. So that in itself should be a crime. You know, if I give you, use a pilot of this aircraft with 500 lives on board, do you think you guys to go be drunk before you take plane?
But what do you do with somebody like that?
You're
As a
lucky.
body, can't we as a body now push him aside?
Yeah, that we call unity, that we all hands on deck, and that's we come back across several things, among them the cowardice of the people. And the cowardice of the people is not innocent. It has to do with a society, with change and dynamics. Mean by in order to survive, me hush my mouth. Let me no crossy because I may need it. I want that job. So if he's the one in control to get that job, I can't cross him. You know, yes, I can hush my mouth, and that's a change of dynamics. Why a lot of things is not happening. You know, because how dare me? But how suppose that person realize that, look, if you mess with me, it's you your job, it's the people job, and if I'm entitled to it, don't deny it to me. Otherwise, you don't got a problem with me.
Once we got that?
Yes. Once you got that, then you could continue being not being fair, because TUs aren't GTU. And the job you do is a job that belongs to all of us. So why would you want to deny me my own? Then don't do it. I'm going to expose you. And the problem might even go beyond that, because don't do it. And I would say this. My kids,
This is not to
pretty
be
young.
closed off, because
Yeah,
we're going.
we're here waiting on these excuses. Well, I'll just conclude quickly. If I, as a parent, my child come back qualified for whatever job it is, no man here deny my child a job. If me got to do the dying, I can do the dying for my child to get a job. Don't mess with him. Okay, I couldn't care less who you be. Don't mess with him, because he probably how they say he's coming. I go on, so I don't want a problem. And it's my own, it's my child. Yeah, I did my time. So if I go, it probably would have been June 5 years time. I know,
Yeah.
but he coming, so don't block him. And then probably that would be the example that would help them to see going forward. You don't deny your people.
We need those drastic
Yes.
those drastic movements.
I know, actually they didn't show up. We was hoping that they would give an update, so maybe the meeting is protracted and more complicated than it is. So that more or less puts us in the range of shutting down. And I think we did compensate for starting late. We went exactly. So we'll see you guys next Friday. We hope to start on time, and we hope that. No, you got to be in a little more often than this. He take it a whole new level, and he loses touch. What I say from since 97, 96.
97, so yeah.
Man, all you do get wake up tonight, man.
Yo, the level I'm on now, we're seeing where our people should be at, how we should stand, and how we should move now. I with y'all guys 100%, man. You know, physically, mentally, ideal, but not being there physically all the time. Don't think I'm not there, eh?
Man,
You know, so because
to become clear tonight, let's put it that
you
way.
know, we all like before we started and y'all introduced me here. Like I told you, I don't know, we there.
Yeah, man.
We
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this together.
Yes, man.
You know, and everybody is on a move. But then when you sit and talk to certain people, you understand what they stand for, and you see where they're going. But everybody take different routes. But I feel if we're on the same mission, we gotta collide.
We'll hook up,
We
yes,
gotta go back up.
eventually.
Because we're on the same mission. You know, and the problem we have is such on a vast, so big. We all can't tackle one area.
No, everybody got it. We'll have to take a little piece.
Yeah.
And go.
So if we are tackling it differently, guess what?
We'll
gonna
get
end
a
up
job.
finishing
Yeah.
it.
Yes, the whole thing.
We're gonna get the whole thing finished, you know? We're gonna get the finish. We're
Definitely.
gonna get finish. So, but I just think we just gotta be strong on the whole as people.
Well,
and once we get that going mentally,
Well, when you find loose
brush
from
fires,
coming,
brush fires, man.
catch him, man.
yeah, we got a lot more brush fires.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right.
All right, fellas.
People, that's it there for program Brush Fires, hosted by the Swaliga Grassroots Movement. Until next Friday, don't forget, tune in from 7 to 9. We are a little bit over time because we were a little late, so therefore we stayed the time and we did what we had to do. Remember, God bless you, Swaliga.
Man, you lose nothing.